Hey friends, how are y'all? If y'all can hear me, do me a favor and give me a thumbs up in the comments. Yes. Deep in a new city. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I just want to make sure that the volume is good. Yeah, so, okay, wonderful. It is good. Yeah, so I am a little delayed. Let me grab my notebook. A little delayed, but not denied. Moving is an it's a process, let me tell you. And literally a couple of moments ago, my movers delivered all of my things. So, you know, I'm like, hurry. I got a show to do. And that's the problem with doing live, right? When we're talking about Kamala, we can talk about Kamala. We can talk about Kamala tonight. But before we do that, I promised some folks, and I'm not going to dig too deep into this. I'm going to just give some overall tidbits on the first installment of 2020 and 20. It's a plan. I've done this last year. I have some graphics for you. I can put those back up and I'll do those later on. But, you know, people are really making a big deal about closing out this decade. Like it's probably more serious tonight than ever before. So one of the things that in some of the coaching sessions that I was doing as I was wrapping up my time in Cincinnati was talking to people about how are they planning for the next year, but also how are we doing some planning much longer and much broader. And so what I want to give a couple of minutes of airtime to is talking through developing goals for the next year, the next 2 to 3 years, and then developing some goals for the next 10 years. The time is out to be living just year to year. And I don't say that to be grandiose or to cast judgment on anyone for however we develop our plans. I too, as a person of deep faith and spiritual nature, like I get making plans. I understand the logic behind some of it, but what I want to encourage you between now and next week. So I'm on every week between here and the end of the month, right? You'll see me right here. Hey friend, you'll see me right here the next couple of weeks. But in the next 7 days, I want you to really just spend the next week thinking about your goals and doing them in a realistic manner. So this video will save. I'm relaunching my website. Not a lot has changed, just in the middle of doing a lot of transition. I needed to take attention away from one aspect and make sure that I totally get focused on doing the work in this new space that I'm in. And so really that first part is goals, SMART goals. And SMART is an acronym. They need to be specific. They need to be measurable. They need to be achievable. They need to be realistic, and they need to be time bound. Again, goals that are specific. They need to be measurable. They need to be achievable, like you can actually do it, realistic, and they need to be time bound. SMART goals. And there are 7 types of goals that I really want to employ you to think about as you're moving over this next week. Again, you can go back and watch this series, this first couple of minutes. But I want to give you some reasons of why goal setting is really important. A lot of us talk ideas, we talk lofty things, and we never truly set ourselves to be accountable. And SMART goals and doing it in a smart manner really holds us accountable to those goals. So don't just talk about it, but be about it. for instance, one of the biggest goals that people often do, and gyms make so much money off of us from people who are saying they're going on a weight loss journey. In fact, gyms, and I'm not going to call out anyone in particular, but a lot of them are banking on the fact that you're going to quit 3 months into your plan. In fact, they'll sell more memberships. The gym isn't even designed to hold as many memberships as they're having, simply because they know that people are going to back out of their goals. And so it's really important that you begin to do them in a smart manner and begin to strategize with them so that you can get something achievable. Another thing is we oftentimes create goals out of feelings and not out of commitment. And so I want you, when you're thinking about these goals, think about things, that's the part of it that are in it, that's realistic, is that it's not done out of feelings, but these are goals that you can actually commit to. And so I want you to think boldly, and stretch yourself in your goals, but also think about creating those goals that you can really, really commit yourself to. And you know, there's a lot of gyms out there who've gotten the money, and they've gotten some, and let's be, if I'm honest, they've gotten some of my coins too. Okay. And, but I found home gyms to be much more my speed and something that I could commit to. And also another reason we don't really stay with our goals is because life happens. And life will continue to happen, and we still need to be committed to our goals. And so you create a strategy for yourself, and you create tactics for yourself that are really going to help you to weather the storm of life, right? And so say I'm gonna stick with it, the weight loss piece, because that's what a lot of people do at the beginning of the year. And there's a lot of trainers who make a lot of money off people at the beginning of the year, committing to months or weeks or a year-long plan, and you don't stick with it, right? So really, really begin to think about those goals that you can be accountable to yourself and you can hold others accountable to. Goals that are really that you can commit to, and not creating goals out of feelings. Okay, because I feel like I need to. No, really commit to it. You know, if you're really serious about getting on a health journey, let's create some strategies that are going to help you to achieve those, and create goals that can help you weather life's storms. Okay, those are the types of goals. Now, here are 7 different types of goals that I want you to think about in this next week. I've already created, in the 20 for 20, I created 20 goals for myself that are on the SMART pattern. And if what you want is some help in maximizing and crafting your goals, I'll work with you over this next week. Send me an email, antoniolp@gmail.com, once you've crafted your goals, and then we can begin to work over this month. I'll do it in a coaching manner, all for free, to help you to begin to craft goals that are going to work for you. And if what you want to do is set up a call, we can set up a call for about 30 minutes and we can talk through how to do it. Now, I'm a really realistic coach, and okay, it's not a lot of kumbaya. It's not me telling you what to do. It's you thinking through and working with me, and me holding you accountable to how you're going to do it. But here are those 7 types of goals that you want to create for your 2020 plan. Okay. And so one type of goal is something for your personal life. Okay. Think about a goal. When you're thinking about goals for yourself, I want you to think about goals that you can create for your personal life. Okay. Something for yourself, for you, not you and anyone else, just something for you. You want to do this for yourself, mental, physical, emotional, financial, whatever it is. Think about something that you want to do for yourself. It could be getting back into a hobby. It could be thinking about something, trying something new. Whatever it is, it's a personal goal for yourself. Okay. And all goals don't have to last all year. All of your goals don't have to begin at the beginning of the year. Okay. That's something I'm going to talk about later on in the series. But that's something else that gets people tripped up, is that we think that we've got to start all of our goals at the beginning of the year. That's not realistic, and it's not attainable. All right. The second type of goal that I want you to think about is one for your professional life. Okay, whatever your professional life, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you are working a 9 to 5, right? Or whatever job that you're doing, whatever work it is, I'm gonna say that, whatever work it is that you are doing, not necessarily a job, the work, right? Commit yourself to a work and a worthy cause. Whatever that is, create some goals that are geared towards your professional life. The third one is creating goals that work for your partnership, whether you are married, whether you're in a relationship. There is a lot of research that talks about when couples create goals together, how happier they are. Do some research, do Google, do some Amazon, but when there's a lot of positivity about how when couples create goals together or they work towards a common good together, how much healthier and happier their relationships to become. So whatever your partnership is, this could be a friend, could be a loved one. Not necessarily a friend. I'm saying this particularly in for your partnership, your romantic engagement. Right? And working and crafting goals together. Do something fun, do something serious. You know, it could be working towards a vacation, could be whatever it is that you want to do. That's the fourth type. Again, something for personal, something for a professional. The third one is something for your partnership. The fourth one that I want you to do is think about goals that involve family or friends. Okay, something you can do with your family or friends. Don't have to be all of your family. It could be a couple people, one person, whatever. But I want you to think about a tie, doing something that involves strengthening or working with alongside strengthening a family tie. Okay, those are 4 types at the top, right? Goals there. Now the second half of these don't necessarily deal with looking at plans that are going to be executed in this next year, but these are plans that you can actually begin to sow seeds for. And so one of the pieces that I'm working with a lot of people about is, again, I'm going back to that feeling versus commitment piece, is that if you're waiting until you feel it, sometimes it'll never happen. And one of the things I'm talking with some of my friends and in circles that I'm in is shifting mindsets away from feeling to commitment, right? Like telling yourself, and this is my personal phrase for the next year and how I'm approaching my goals. And I talked with my aunt about this over the Thanksgiving holidays. You can't wait until you have to tell yourself, this is what we're doing now, right? At this point in your life, not waiting until you feel it. I'm doing this now and I'm committing to this, and this is how I'm changing my life over the next couple of years. So if you're thinking about, like I know a couple of you who are on are thinking about going into doctoral programs, and you may not be feeling it right now, but you need to tell yourself, this is what we're doing now to get to the place where I want to go later on. And so for goals 5, 6, and 7, again, they're about sowing seeds for the next couple of years. And so I want you to think about a goal, again, over this next week that can be accomplished in the next 2 to 3 years. And so for some of you that's thinking about buying homes, for some of you that's thinking about investments, that's thinking about going to school, I want you to think about a goal. It cannot be achieved in the next year, but this goal can be achieved in the next 2 to 3 years, okay? Whatever, it could model something that you've wanted to do for a while, but it needs to be big and it needs to be bold. Don't think about small things. Think about things that are going to take time and really, really take commitment that can be achieved over the next 2 to 3 years. All right. Goal number 6 is a 5-year goal. Okay. I want you to think about it. Spend some time thinking about these. A 5-year goal. Okay. Think long, think hard about it, right? And I'm going to talk about this in a couple moments about this brainstorming process and how to engage and carve time out for yourself for it. But the goal number 6 is thinking about a 5-year goal, something you can engage in over the next 5 years. And the last one, 7, it is a 10-year goal. Okay, again, I started out talking about we're not necessarily begin living year to year with the plan, but we've got to begin to lay the groundwork for setting ourselves up for the next decade, right? And for some of you, you're going to retire in the next decade. And so how are you beginning to set yourself up to put yourself in a position? For some of you, you're ready to leave your job and you need to position yourself. You can't necessarily right now make the leap that you want to, but in the next 10 years, you know you can make the leap to leave your job and work for yourself. And so again, goals 5, 6, and 7. 5 is creating a goal that's going to work for you the next 2 to 3 years. Number 6 is a goal that's achievable in the next 5 years. And number 7 is a goal that is achievable in the next 10 years. You gotta dream, you gotta think, you gotta craft that vision for yourself. Where do I want to see myself in the next 10 years? It's achievable, okay? And so, Antonio, how do you begin to set up working towards that? You've got to commit yourself in the next 7 days to carving out time specifically for you. And this is about disciplining yourself. We're all busy. We got a lot to do. You can find the time to get quiet, to get still, and get in a place of where you can think. Maybe it's on your drive to work. Maybe it's while you're in the shower. Maybe it's while you're taking a break at work. It could even be while you're in the bathroom. Wherever your quiet place is that you think, could be on a walk, taking a walk, right? Could be on a call with a friend, thinking through it. But you gotta find the time every day for the next 7 days. I want you to think about crafting 20 goals for 20, right? And some of these goals are goals for the next 2 to 3 years. Some of them are for the next 5, and some of them are for the next 10, but 20. Get your 20. All 20 goals do not have to be achieved in the next year. Some of these goals need to be in the next year. What you're really going to do is sow some seeds. What's an example of that? Say you're getting ready, you're thinking you want to go back to school. A lot of you are wanting to go on for next education. Maybe what you're going to do in this next year is take your test, your professional test that you need to take, and you're going to spend months studying and preparing for that. That's a realistic goal and strategies and tactics, right? So let's in some substantive ones, I'm going to get into strategies and tactics for achieving these goals. And again, if you're just joining, if you want to work with me, you can email me, antoniolp.com. I'll work with you over this next week in helping you to frame and craft your goals. But again, using the SMART tactic, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. And goals 5, 6, and 7 are time bound for the next several years. The types of goals 1, 2, 3, and 4, goals that are around your personal life, your professional life, your partnership, and then something towards family. Those are things that can be achieved in the next year, or you can stretch those out too. So again, that's how we're going to spend the next 7 days. That's your coaching moment for today, is find time for the next 7 days to carve out time to think about 20 goals in 2020. That's all you need to do. You don't need to craft everything in the next 7 days. You just need to get your paper down and meet me back here next week, same time, to talk about your 2020 plan. So this week is about thinking, and we have to spend time thinking. A lot of times I'm finding we don't spend time thinking. We're just reacting to whatever we're feeling. And commitment, true commitment, takes time to think about and think through. And I think if you spend these next 7 days, these next whatever, to think about these goals, write them down. If you want to run them past your support systems, that's cool. If you want to hold them to yourself, because sometimes goal management, right? Holding them to yourself is really critical, right? Sometimes I don't share goals. All of my goals I'm not sharing, right? You can't let all your secrets out. So some things you got to hold close to the chest until it's time, until they're manifest, until you've seen them through. But sometimes there are goals that I share with accountability partners, because what I really want is I know I'm struggling with it, so I need someone to help me to see that through. But again, that's what we're doing over the next 7 days, and that's where we're going with those. So take this time, think back. You can play it back later on and think about the goals that you're going to achieve. All right.